Good day. In this, the third of our series on difficult questions, we'll be discussing the trance phenomena. Let's have a look at some statistics to start off with. Around about between 0.002%, that's 1 in 50,000, and 0.014%, that's 1 in 7,200 people, suffer from gender dysphoria. 80% of children with gender dysphoria grow out of it with time. So, between 1 in 250,000 and 1 in 36,000 people do not recover naturally without some sort of intervention. That's 1 in 143,000 people. So this isn't a common occurrence. Now let's discuss a couple of other dysphoria. Body integrity dysphoria or body integrity identity disorder. This is where the entire body is considered not to fit with the person's identity. Then we get a situation where if a person's had an arm or a leg or a hand amputated, you get a phantom limb pain. The limb's not there anymore, but pain is still felt in that limb. Another example of a type of dysphoria is the mirror and phacantric, where the person becomes confused when a artificial hand is touched and the person feels the effect on their hand without their hand actually being touched. And then we've got body dysmorphia. Okay, normally goes together with anorexia nervosa, where no matter how thin the person may be, that person still thinks of themselves as being fat. Now all of these dysmorphia or disorders are treatable with the correct psychological help and types of physiotherapy and medical intervention, such as tube feeding and so on and so forth. In the case of anorexia nervosa, these people can recover. Now, let's just do a small gedanken experiment. In other words, a thought experiment. Suppose we have a situation where we have this extremely complicated machine that can transfer thoughts from one person to another. And we get a woman named Anna, say, and a guy named Jake. Now, Jake wants to know what it feels like to be a woman. So Anna decides, for the sake of experimentation, to allow her brain, all her thoughts and so on and so forth, to be downloaded into Jake. Experiment starts up, and all of Anna's thoughts get downloaded. Everything in her brain gets downloaded into Jake. Does Jake now know what it feels like to be a woman? No. Jake knows what Anna what Anna thinks and does under certain circumstances. And that's in the best set of circumstances. In the worst set of circumstances, Anna's thoughts will be integrated, which the body does. The mind does when you learn something new. Those thoughts and opinions and ideas will get integrated into Jake's brain, creating a huge amount of cognitive dissonance, which will create huge psychological disorders. So, can Jake, under these set of circumstances, get to know what it's like to be a woman? And the answer is no. Jake still has all the characteristics of being a man, and he will interpret the females downloading to his brain from a male perspective. So he won't get to know what it's like to be a woman. So under those sort of circumstances, a man cannot get to know what it's like to be a woman. Now let's suppose we get another type of machine. One that is capable of downloading memories from the brain into another body, but at the same time uploading memories from another body, okay, and transferring it across. So we got memories and so on being transferred across, but at the same time, all memories in that body are removed to get rid of that problem of there being a combination of two different types of memories. So, once again, Jake and Anna lie down on the tables and they transfer their Monkey More minds across, whilst deleting the mind of Jake in Jake and deleting the mind of Anna in Anna. So now Jake's mind is in Anna, and none of Anna's thoughts or anything is in Anna. And Anna's mind is in Jake, and none of Jake's thoughts remain there. Now, can Jake get to know what it's like to be a woman? Unfortunately, no. Let's consider the situation. Yes, Jake would know what a female's body is like now, because his mind is resident in a female's body. But that's not all that being a woman is. It's a whole bunch of other stuff. It's from birth up to the time of the experiment. All of those preconceptions and ideas and so on and so forth are inherent in the mind. So, Jake may know what it feels like now to be in a woman's body, and he may achieve some level of satisfaction from that for a short period. But soon he'll start to realize that those innate feelings, opinions, mindsets, he still has, because his experience is that of a man. So will he know what it's like to be a woman? No. He'll know what it's like to be in a woman's body, but he won't know what it's like to be a woman. And neither will Anna be able to know what it's like to be a man, because she has all the memories, experiences, opinions of a woman. And those memories, experiences, and opinions of a woman are merely in a man's body. That doesn't make the person a man. So, what is the inescapable conclusion that we are led to? It is this: that being a man or being a woman is not merely being in a man's body or being in a woman's body. It is all the thoughts, experiences, opinions, interactions that you've had as a man, or those interactions with other people that you've had as a woman, as well as the body. So can anybody logically, rationally, reasonably turn around and say, I feel like a woman? Can any man turn and say, I feel like a woman? Can any woman say they feel like a man? No. They just can't, they just won't be able to experience that. They're just incapable under any set of circumstances to know what it feels like to be a woman when you're the other sex. And you're totally incapable of knowing what it feels like to be a man if you're a woman. These are things that are built up over years and years. Interactions, people's opinions, people who you've learned from, life experiences. All of this occurs. So, is it possible? No, it's not. So when anybody says that they feel like a woman, when a man says he feels like a woman, what is actually happening is a type of dysmorphia, which is a disorder. That person mustn't start to be chopped up into little pieces now and reassembled. What they need is they need help. They need psychological help. When one considers and examines and listens to people who have had trance from male to female or from female to male, one immediately observes that there's a certain level of anxiety, a certain level of desperation that immediately identifies them as trans. Not as a real woman, but as a trans. Not as a real man, but as a trans. Look at examples, international examples, like Dylan Mulvaney. You can see she doesn't act like a woman at all. She desperately attempts to act like a woman. But there's that level of desperation in everything that she says and does that immediately identifies her as being trans and not being a true female. True female are a lot more different than the examples of Dylan Mulvaney. When you look at the other trans men that have become women, you can see there's a level of violence amongst many of them that you just don't, Nikki, that you just don't see in women. And this is caused by their desperation to be accepted as a woman, but realizing that being a woman is something completely different from what they thought it was originally. So, what do we need? We need more compassion for these people. But compassion isn't removing a woman's breasts and giving her a penis. Compassion isn't removing a man's penis and giving them breasts and putting them on steroids or hormones that they have to stay on for the rest of their lives. Removing the ability that they have to have family, children. That's terrible. That's cruel. Rather, we should be helping these people. So thank you. I hope this little talk has got you to think a little bit on how cruel we are being to these people, to the Dylan Mulvaneys of this world, and rather show a little bit more compassion and try to help them in other ways. Please share and like this video so that it can get to more people, and please watch out for the fourth in the series of hard questions, in which I will be looking at whether or not it is possible or even probable for there to be such a thing as absolute truth. Thank you very much, and God bless.